Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Off the Cuff here at City Hall with some updates. The last month was really kind of a slow month in terms of city government actually doing things, but we had a ton of fun events planned throughout the month, including just this past weekend, the Halloween Creepy Crawl. We got some great feedback and had a huge turnout with the crowd at the Creepy Crawl since moving it to the Haunted Tunnel. And then we had a band and some fun activities set up in Rotary Park. So I'd like to thank the DPW for doing an extraordinary job putting together the Haunted Tunnel, and our Economic Development Office for putting the event itself together. I thank the public for coming out to support the event, and we continue to look for ways to make it better next year. And then the Trunk or Treat at Oswego Speedway, we saw, I think, over 1,600 kids alone, not people, we're not counting parents, but over 1,600 children alone come in and get some candy at the track. So I thank the Youth Bureau and the folks at the Oswego Speedway for agreeing to partner on that event. Once again, it's really a great event. And then from one event to another, we are announcing this month the date and time of the holiday tree lighting ceremony. It'll be held on Saturday, November 26th from 3 to 6:30 p.m. This includes some fun free activities out in the plaza from really 3 to 6, and then the pre-show, the stage show starts at 5 o'clock. The tree lighting itself is at 6, and then we all kind of migrate to the Oswego River to watch the fireworks show at 6:05. That's always a real festive event of the year. I love attending it. We try to mix it up a bit every year, and it's always encouraging to see the huge crowd descend on downtown to attend. So hope to see you there, and if you haven't been there, you should make some extra effort to check it out this year. Last month, we also opened the skate park. We had a great opening ceremony. We had some pro skaters, a DJ, and a whole bunch of fun stuff going on as we opened the new $500,000, 8,000 square foot concrete skate park. I would encourage you to go down and check out the park, even if you're not a skater. It turned out, I think, better than even we could imagine. So in the first couple weeks, abuse have proved to be pretty good so far. The park is kind of policing itself. People have been respectful and kept it clean. We haven't seen any vandalism or damage. So I appreciate everyone for respecting the park, and again, would encourage folks to stop down and check it out. We, this month, some good news. We scored a 0 on our New York State Comptroller's report. This is an annual report that the State Comptroller's Office does that really ranks the fiscal stress of a municipality. I often hear from people throughout the community who talk about all these things we're doing and ask where we're getting the money. How are we building these buildings, these new parks, these new DPW equipment, these salaries, so on and so on and so on. The list goes on. And what a lot of people don't realize is this has been a 7-year project to get our city in this sort of financial health. There was really a strategy and a rhyme and reason to every decision we've made these last 7 years, and it's paying off. While we're able to bring a lot of the new amenities to our community, we do so through grant funding that isn't actually locally collected property taxes that we get. And when you pay for all of these improvements and a lot of equipment and a lot of upgrades to different departments and infrastructure, that means you don't have to spend local resources on it, local money on it. So we've been able to lower the water and sewer bill, lower taxes, and do all these improvements while actually improving the fiscal health of the city. The 0 is the best score you can get, and I'm very proud of that. If you visit my Facebook, you can actually see a post from last week, the criteria that goes into the scoring and where we graded with each criteria, and see why we got a 0. So I'm extraordinarily proud of that. Also, more exciting news, we're opening up once again the free public skating. The hours will be Tuesday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. Family skate will run 6 to 7 Thursday, 5:30 to 7 Saturday, 5:30 to 7 Sunday. Public skate will run 8:30 to 10 Friday, 7 to 10 Saturday, and 7 to 10 Sunday. Something different this year is last year we actually set some money aside and bought some new ice skates, a large order of ice skates so that kids who do not have ice skates themselves can actually still go to Open Skate and for $2 simply rent ice skates to use for Open Skate and then return them. So I think that'll really open up some accessibility for kids who may not have their own ice skates and may not have the means to go out and buy their own, so they still get a good opportunity to go get some skating. And then skating itself, the ice time is free to the public, so encourage you to get out and use that. All of these open skate sessions will be held at the Kingsford Park ice rink. So make note of that. And then the last thing I'd like to talk about is this drug task force case that we tried to highlight earlier this year. This is an example of the 2020 New York State bail reform laws doing real damage to local communities. I would say local individuals, and that includes even the criminals in which it was supposed to help, I guess. And I can kind of highlight that with this case. Earlier this year, we started the drug task force here in the city. It's been an extremely busy unit, cracking a bunch of cases, making a lot of busts, and that's a great thing. But we have used a lot of resources and used up a lot of time and attention really chasing the same people around and around and around because of the state bail reform laws. And a good example is a recent case. This man and woman duo here in the city of Oswego have been arrested 3 times for dealing heroin and fentanyl. The first time was in August, the second time was in September, and now the third time in October, only to be arrested and released immediately after being processed. And I think this really, for those who don't know heroin, I think most people understand, but fentanyl is this deadly drug that's injected into several different types of drugs. And the slightest amount of consumption of fentanyl can actually kill you. That's why police walk around with the Narcan, and if they get to you in time after an overdose, they can bring you essentially back to life. So it's real deadly stuff. These people are known to be dealing it, and we've arrested them 3 times, and the woman in this duo is allowed to walk every time. So I would ask people, especially as you go to vote in a little while here, regardless of your political affiliation or your philosophical belief on this issue, how is this situation okay? How is the community being improved by this situation? How is individuals and as a society are we being improved? And how are these criminals actually being helped by this law? You could really argue for those who think people shouldn't be locked up in jail if they commit a crime, even if it's dealing heroin and fentanyl. One could argue that there needs to be a mechanism to either get them into a rehab or a drug court or a psych ward or something that will help their situation. I don't think these bail reform laws are helping these people at all. Eventually they'll get caught enough times or commit a crime bad enough, probably against somebody innocent, and they'll end up probably being locked up anyway. So I think it's important to highlight that case, that stuff like this and laws that are passed in Albany, while it may seem far away, have real consequences and impact here. So kudos to the Drug Task Force for keeping on it, even though kind of the system's stacked against us. We'll keep working and make it some bust, and hopefully this state law can figure itself out or be changed or amended or reversed or whatever the politicians in Albany think the best case scenario is. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll be talking to you next month.